ways to set up Jenkins, but the two most common ways are: the first way is the manual way, in which we install Java and Jenkins source code to run the Jenkins software on our server. So now basically we will start to set up Jenkins on our machine. I currently have an Ubuntu virtual machine on one of the cloud providers. And first thing, I need to make sure to install Docker on my machine because we will go with the Dockerized way, which is much easier to set up and run. Here, I will provide the GitHub repository for the files I will be using. So, so first thing, I will be using the install underscore docker.sh, and this have all the commands we need to install Docker on our Ubuntu Linux machine. So I will copy this file and switch back to my virtual machine. So now I did SSH into my Ubuntu machine and I will start now with installing Docker. So I will create a file called install docker.sh and I will copy the content of the file I have copied. Then I will give it the permission to execute, and after that I will run the file. So here we can see Docker has been installed successfully. And to make sure that it is running now, we can use the systemctl status docker and we will find it active and running. If you find Docker not running on your machine, you can just run the following command. And after that, you need to run also start. So you enable Docker to run it each time the system boot up, and after that, you start Docker instantly at the same time. So now, after we have installed the Docker service on our machine, we need to run the Docker Compose file, which will spin up the Jenkins server using the Jenkins image, the official image of Jenkins. And it will run it on two ports, 8080 and 5000. 5000 will be used to communicate with Jenkins agents, and 8080 will be used for the web portal that we will use. Also, there is the volumes, and this will map the Jenkins home directory, which have the password and the workspaces and other folders into the server directory. And here we create Jenkins network and we use the bridge network, which is the default one. So let me just copy this file, the Docker Compose file, and switch back to my virtual machine. So now let's create a file called docker-compose.yaml and paste the content that we have copied from the GitHub repo. And here let's close the file. After that, and now after we have created this file, we can just proceed with running docker compose -f, the name of the file, and then up and running it in detach mode. So we don't hang up the terminal. So here we can see the container is already running now, and it's running on port 5000 and also on port 8080. And now let's basically just get the IP address of this virtual machine. We run fconfig-me and we get this IP address. And let's navigate into a browser and paste it there. So here, let's just paste the copied IP address and let's just add the port for the web portal, which is 8080 and not 5000. And here we should see the first thing is the Jenkins sign-in page. And it's telling us where to find the initial admin passwords. It's under var Jenkins home secrets initial admin password. So let's just navigate quickly to the virtual machine to get this password. So now, as we saw, we need to go to the dash var Jenkins home directory. But how are we going to go into that directory if we are using a Docker container? We have the following container running, but how are we going to go to this directory if it's not on our virtual machine? So luckily, when we created the Docker Compose file, we have created a volume and we have mapped the dash var dash Jenkins home directory inside the container into the Jenkins dash data directory or volume in our host, in our virtual machine, and not the container. So here, if we run a simple command to get the volume we have, if we hit docker volume ls, we will get that we have the following volume. It's Jenkins dash data, same as the one we have, and the prefix is the machine name or the username of this machine. So we will also type docker volume inspect and the name of the volume. And here we will get the path into the Jenkins dash data directory, which is mapped into the container Jenkins home directory. So if we highlight this one and then go cd into it, needs sudo permission. So here, as we can see, when we try to go into this directory, give us command, either command not found, and if we take off sudo, we will get permission denied. So we need to switch into sudo user. And if you haven't set up the root user or sudo user password, you need just to run the following command: sudo password, then root. And here you need to add the new password for the sudo user or the root user. And now you can just type su switch user and then hyphen. Now you are logged in as the root user, and here we can navigate into the following directory. And now we will find the directory which is mapped into the container. And if we go into the secrets file, which was available in the previous screen, here we can see the initial password, admin password resides under the secrets directory. So if we go into this directory right now and we go into secrets, then we can find the initial admin password. We will cat, sorry, we will cat this file and get the initial password. And now we will switch into the Jenkins sign-in page. And here we need to paste the password we have copied earlier. Then hit continue. I think I copied it right. Okay. And let's install the suggested plugins, which is the most commonly used ones. So after the plugins have been downloaded successfully, we will get prompted this web page. We need to add a username and we can add anyone, anything, sorry. For example, we can add here Jenkins user or just Jenkins. The password could be something You choose the Jenkins user. Email address can be any demo thing, doesn't matter. Be Jenkins at gmail.com. And let's save and continue. After we finish signing up, we get prompted the following page, which is just a welcome page with a create a job option and how to set up a distributed build on our Jenkins server. As we talked previously, we won't run the task on the Jenkins controller server. We will run them on an agent, which are other virtual machines.